What is happening, travelers? So you all know how much I love traveling, and we're in this weird time where we just can't travel as much, but I wanted to share a positive, uplifting story in order to just remind people why it's so important to travel, and not only for ourselves, but the other people we can touch and potentially impact later in life. So I've been working closely with a school on the near west side of Indianapolis. It's an underprivileged area that through my church, we've been doing some mentorship over there, tutoring. And I've been working with this school for over 10 years. And it's a blessing for me to be able to go in there and learn from these kids. And this year, I'm working with fifth graders, a fifth grade class. I've had a wide spectrum of the different classes I've worked with, but I've been working with fifth graders. And part of my interaction with the kids in that class is the idea of I'll share stories about my travel throughout the course of the year. And this year, because I went to the Philippines with my brother in early February, when I came home, I returned and told the kids about my trip, shared some photographs, shared some videos, told them some stories, told them the similarities between the Filipino culture and the Mexican culture, because a good portion of these children, probably 95% of the kids, are from Mexican or Latino descent. And so I made the comparisons between the Filipino culture with the Mexican culture, and because there's a lot of words that my brother and I, when we were traveling, we'd see the words and we're saying those are Spanish words. So I would tell the kids that, and I also told them about just the way of life in the Philippines. My brother and I had a chance to go scuba diving, and I also brought them back some souvenirs. I brought them back these coins, pesos, and necklaces that some small Filipino village kids made that I had a chance to take back with me. There's a little cross on a necklace. So I had a chance to give that to the kids, and there's about 30-ish kids in the class. So what I wanted to do is, so I presented to them, I just had a chance to talk to them and for about an hour and just tell them about these things, just to open their eyes, because a lot of these kids, like a lot of fifth graders, independent of your, your social economic class, not a lot of kids get to travel, right? And a lot of kids don't get to leave the country at that age. Some kids are blessed enough to do it, but most kids can't. But in this particular case, a lot of these kids, they've never traveled. So for me to be able to put that, give that to them, give them something to think about, explore, show them on the map how far it was away, talk about the culture and all the differences and similarities, and then bring it back to them. To me, that was the important part. So I went through this presentation, talked to the kids, engaged with them, and then they sent me thank you notes. So I wanted to share the thank you notes, one, so I could have it audibly for myself for the future in case I lose these letters. It's just a cool thing that I can reflect on, but also just so people can listen and understand the impact that travel can potentially have in the stories of travel and how we articulate other cultures to kids, how the things that they take from it. Because as an adult, we can say certain things and we can see it our way, but as a kid, they could see it totally different in the things that they grasp from the conversation. You'll see some themes in these letters. The things that they hear are totally different sometimes. So I guess it's how we talk through that with the kids and let them understand what we've experienced and what they're going to embrace. So to me, they're funny. Hopefully you get something out of it, and hopefully it's something that I could just, for my sake, have for future reference. And hopefully any of my Filipino friends, you'll hear how much your culture inspired them, how I told them how much I loved being there. You'll hear that in some of these words. So there's quite a few here. So hopefully I can get through most of them pretty quickly, and you'll enjoy it. And I won't share any names just because the kids' sake. I won't do that for them. Dear Mr. Matt, thank you for the coin and for the cross. The coin of the cross is beautiful, and I think it costs a lot of coin, like 30 coin for the cross. You are the nicest person in the earth, and I wish that I can go with you and see the earth and see how earth is beautiful. And I wish I can be like you one day. You are my favorite person in the earth, and you are a cool man. I wish I could live with you. That's funny. Dear Mr. Matt, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for coming to the school and showing us the picture and giving us coins and necklace of Jesus. My favorite part of the picture was when the dogs are free and the people treat the dogs good and also feed them. And the Philippines love Jesus and love to go to church. One thing that I learned is that those wild monkeys can take anything they want and never return it also. And another thing I learned is the Philippines love basketball. I talked about basketball a lot, and how much the kids love basketball. Obviously, I play basketball, so it was an important thing for me. Also, I never seen is the coin called peso. Also, the Philippine country looks like Mexico. I learned a lot of stuff, and the good part of the Philippines is that there is no evil in there, and that's awesome. Thank you again for coming to the school and telling us about your trip. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for the gifts that you give us for coming in and telling us about your trip to the Philippines. My favorite part is when you explained when people live in a small community and help each other out in order to survive. They also use boxes and bamboo on their houses. They respect each other, and people also respect the animals on the road and don't hurt them. The locals also help other people by collecting fish for people to eat. The food there is really cheap, so you can get food for 50 cents, maybe less. P.S. I love the monkey. Some of the themes there, they talk about the animals a lot. I think they really enjoyed the photos of the animals, and I kind of knew that, but I told them about how the people there would, kind of that hustle mentality of the Philippines, and how they would do a lot for the people in the community and the culture, and help each other out as a community. So I think they dug that. Dear Mr. Matt, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for coming to our class. Thank you for coming to our class and talking about your trip to the Philippines. You helped me learn what it's like being there. I learned some information that I didn't know before. Thank you so much for taking your time to explain to us your trip. Thank you for bringing us back a necklace and the money from your trip to the Philippines. It was very thoughtful of you to bring us back gifts from your trip. Thank you for being an amazing person, and you have been an amazing example. You have been kind and loving to others on your trip. Thank you for taking your time to talk to us about your trip. You really helped us learn new information about the Philippines. Thank you for being an amazing person in this world. The coin and necklace are amazing. Thank you, Mr. Matt. God bless you for all the amazing things you've done for us. That's really nice. And really good penmanship for that young lady. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for sharing with me and my classmates where you went. I especially like to thank you for bringing us coins and necklaces for the whole class. It was really nice where you were. I really liked it how the water in the river looked like it looked clean, and it looked like if it was Mexico. The dogs that were on the pictures were really pretty, and the monkeys looked friendly when they got food. Again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for everything, for sharing with us and for giving us gifts. You are a really nice person. I can tell that you love to travel the world and you like to share where you go. Thank you for everything. The monkeys, there's a ton of monkeys. On the particular island we were at in Cebu, there was this guy that had off the path there. We had a chance to go into his area and experience the monkeys. So that's kind of why that theme's there. And the monkeys, there's probably 20 monkeys that came out. We had a chance to feed them and stuff. So I showed them those videos. And obviously, for kids, monkeys are a big deal. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for coming to our class and showing us pictures and videos of your trip to the Philippines. My favorite part was about the view, and my favorite video was the one with the monkey. I was really happy when I got the necklace and the money. I'm really happy that you thought of the class and giving us gift. Thank you again for taking the time from work for telling us about your trip. May God bless you. Dear Mr. Matt, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your for what you brought us from the Philippines and a few things I learned from the Philippines. A few things I learned from the Philippines is that puppies are free in the streets and not puppies that are in cages and suffering. I talked about how the dogs kind of run free and the community takes care of the dogs, and sometimes they're even close to the road, and so people will honk so they get out of the road and things like that. And I think that really resonated with the kids. Another thing I learned is that their ocean does not have trash like other oceans do. Another thing that I learned is that most kids work after school making stuff or playing basketball, and not like us just being on our phones after school. Those are a few things that I learned about the Philippines, and thank you for bringing us stuff from the Philippines. I took the opportunity to thank you for bringing us stuff from the Philippines, telling us what you learned. So yeah, I talked about how these kids would essentially hustle goods. There's a group of kids that would walk around town and sell like trinkets and handmade stuff from time to time. So I thought that was neat, and obviously the kids took it as, man, these kids are doing stuff after school to make money for their families. All right, this is a long one, and it's kind of lightly written, so it might not be the easiest to read. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for showing us how the Philippines looked like and the difference between the Philippines and Indiana. Thank you for thinking of us, 5th grade class, while you were on vacation and buying us things when you really didn't have to. I learned a lot of things like how the dogs could wander around and even go into the churches. I loved looking at the pictures you shared with us because I felt like I was there in the Philippines. I would like to tell you what new things I learned that I did not know. First, I would start out with how much the Philippines takes care of their country. When you showed us the animals and the beach, I was very surprised because of how I see our country today. The Philippines looks like a really interesting and safe and clean place from the pictures you showed us. I love how the people there are very family friendly to new people, like how you and your brother were to them. Most of their time, they are with their family and not working like in business like we have to. Thank you again for everything you shared with us and brought us from your trip. So I think what her theme was essentially, I talked about the culture in the very family-focused culture and how nice they were to us, me and my brother on our trip. And I think that young lady, that resonated with her, and the fact that they kind of all support each other. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you because you were thinking about us while you were on your trip to the Philippines. You got us some necklaces from your visit. I think you enjoyed being over there, and I enjoyed being there. I also hope you had fun. Thank you for the necklaces and some coins. I really like the photos you showed us. I also like the part that you told us about the dogs, monkeys, and roosters, because they were all cute to see. I love the part that you showed the church. It was so beautiful in the inside. I also love the part you showed us the beach. It was so pretty. Thank you so much for coming to visit us. Thank you so much for bringing us stuff from the Philippines. I love the necklaces with the cross on it. I also like the coins. May God bless you. I hope you have a good day. Thank you again for the necklace and the coin. Thank you for sharing your pictures and how it went for you. That's awesome. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for coming to our class to talk about your trip, and I appreciate you showing us pictures of your trip. My favorite part was the dog and how they are safe but free, and how cool it would be to have monkeys in your backyard, because here the dogs are in danger and there are not that many trees. I especially wanted to make this letter to thank you for bringing us the coins and the necklace. Thank you for even thinking of us on your trip. Thank you, Mr. Matt. That God continues to bless you. It's really nice. You're starting to see a theme here with some of these. Dear Mr. Matt, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for coming to the classroom and telling us how your trip. I really appreciate the things that you brought for us. The thing I liked the most was the necklace and the picture you showed us when you went scuba diving and you were underwater. Thank you, Mr. Matt, for coming to our classroom and showing us the pictures and giving us the necklaces and the coin. Dear Mr. Matt, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for sharing your story with us and giving us coins and a necklace with a cross on it. I think that it is very cool because you get to see stuff that other people don't see or experience. I would like to travel the world like you do. You get to look at what happened in the places, what's happening in the place you travel to during this time or of the year. I also have some questions. I know you probably can't tell me the answers, but that's okay. Do you travel with your wife or just with your brother? So this was just a trip with my brother. Something me and my brother hopefully will do once a year. So that's interesting that they see that. Also, how tall are you? I'm 6'6". Last one, when you meet someone, are they nice to you? Absolutely. I mean, the world's been so good to me. And that's a good question. Some people don't understand how nice people are around the world when they greet strangers from other parts of the lands. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for all the times you have come here to School Name, and I have some things I can share to you. First, I'm going to be honest. I'm jealous of you. I'm jealous of you because you get to go out into other places, and I kind of never get to get out of Indianapolis. And I kind of feel like I know all the places of Indianapolis. So I really want to go to Mexico maybe this summer when school is over. But anyway, thank you for talking to us wherever you go. And when you talk, it sounds pretty fun to the places you go. I did like the stuff you brought back, and my dad even wants a crucifix you gave to us. I'm going to tell the teacher to give me another one for my dad. So anyway, thank you for all the stuff you brought and the stories you bring back from your trips. That's hilarious. But yeah, kids will get to travel at some point. And I guess I should have brought another necklace for her dad. But that's awesome. Okay, dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for sharing the stories with us. Thank you for letting us know what you did when you left the United States. The thing that I liked in the story was when a lot of people were nice to the dogs. The dogs were in the middle of the streets, and the people started to respect the dogs. And in our country, people don't care. They just drive fast. I love dogs. I have a dog that is very playful. The thing I didn't like about was there was the tsunami, but it is cool for the dogs to know when there's a tsunami and they go up the mountains, they stay safe. The food I don't like seafood, but I would like to go under the water and see all the fishes. Thank you, Mr. Matt, for sharing the stories. Thank you for the gifts you gave us. Thank you for coming and remembering us. Thank you for sharing your story. So some things there, the tsunami, they were asking about the weather, and I told them that this part of the world can have tsunamis at times. So but I told them the part about, Nikki and I had the chance to go to Koh Phi Phi in Thailand. And there they talked about, I mean, it's a movie, I guess now, but they talked about as the tsunami was coming that the animals actually could anticipate because they can feel the earth better than humans, and so they started to run up the mountains. And so I told them that story. So obviously it resonated with this young person, and it's really funny what kids take out of the story. I just remembered I told them that. All right, dear Mr. Matt, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you for going to the Philippines and not forgetting to take a video and pictures, because I wouldn't know how the Philippines looks like. Just like the currency of the Philippines coins, they use peso, unlike USA. 1 peso is like 2 cents. They only use peso coins, not money like this kind, $2. And I'm bringing the necklace with the cross on it from the Philippines. And how the animals live in harmony like pets are free without anyone having them inside, and how the water looks like by scuba diving. That's pretty solid. Sounds like they really liked it. Dear Mr. Matt, hello, Mr. Matt. Thank you for being super generous about us, and thank you for giving us the cross that were really cool, and I love them. And also thank you for also bringing the coins. I like them because they're really looked cool. And also my favorite photo was the monkeys, because I love monkeys a lot. And also because monkeys are just cool. So thank you for being very generous with us. Thank you. Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for coming to our class and talking to us about your trip and showing us amazing pictures. I also want to say thank you for the necklace and the coin. Thank you for thinking about us and your trip. My favorite part was the cute little dogs, and the dogs were my favorite part, because if the dogs slept on the road, the people would respect them, the little cute animals, but I can't believe the people let the dogs in the church. I hope the dogs get special blessings. I wish we could do it here, but we can't. It's against the rules. And thank you for talking to us about your trip. I hope to see you again. So I told the story that when I went to church on a Sunday there, that because the churches are so open, that at one point a dog wandered in, but it wasn't like people were angry. It was just kind of just part of it. So they let the dog wander in, the dog wandered out, and it wasn't a big deal. And apparently the kids loved that. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for thinking of us while you were on your trip to the Philippines. Thank you for bringing us back real money from the Philippines when you really didn't need to, but thank you. Thank you also for bringing us back necklaces from the Philippines, and also you have to buy us necklaces. Thank you for coming to the classroom and sharing your experiences with us, and for being so generous in our classroom. The last thing I would like to thank you for is telling us about the Philippines and your great stories. I hope to see you more often in the year, and hopefully we get to know each other better. And thank you for everything you really have done. May God continue to bless you and your family. That's really like an adult wrote that one. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you for coming to visit us. Thank you for giving us the coin and the necklace with the cross on it. I liked all the pictures that you showed us. My favorite picture was when you showed us the monkey. Thank you for going to the Philippines to share your pictures with us and for remembering about us. You didn't really need to bring us things but you thought about us and you wanted to help people that were selling things. We would like you to come back to talk more about your trips. I really enjoyed your stories that you told us. Thank you for all the things you do. May God continue to bless you. What's funny is this isn't the only student, but several other students spelled Philippines, Philadelphia, and on print. It's pretty funny just to see it, because they're two very extremely different places. Thank you, Mr. Matt. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you very much. Giving us the coins and necklace. I like all the pictures. Really, I learned a lot of the parts I like is spending time with your family. When I saw the picture, it feels happy, like they are at the beach and it is safe to walk. I just like that, because here they can steal us. Wow. The other thing I loved is the waterfalls, and it looks so beautiful and it looks so blue, and I like that. Again, thank you very much for the things you gave us, and when I grow up, I want to be there. I think this is, it's kind of sad in a way, but I think this is just talking about, I talked about the safety I felt in the Philippines. I just felt like it was really safe. A lot of people walking around. A lot of kids have freedom there to walk around. I know that in our culture, there's not as much freedom to just let kids, I guess, wander around. And it's much more open, it seems. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Matt for coming to the classroom from your trip to the other side of the earth and bringing us some souvenirs from your time. And Mr. Matt, you didn't have to bring us some souvenirs, but you did. Thank you for the peso and the necklace, and you brought back from the long trip. Thank you for thinking about us on your time and buying us some souvenirs on your trip. And the way that they spelled souvenirs is quite unique. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to tell you that I enjoyed having you come to our school. It was nice having you. Thank you for the money and the necklace. My favorite part of the visit was when you went scuba diving. It looked cool that you were underwater in the blue ocean. One day I want to travel there. Again, thank you for coming. See, that's the deal. When you see like, one day I want to travel there, you never know what's gonna hit a kid, and the things that is gonna stick with them, and you don't know if they're like, they think about the Philippines until they have the chance to travel at 18 or 22 or 30. And they're always like, man, I want to go to the Philippines because I saw these photos. You just never know. And that's why I think it's so important to share our stories of travel and get the word out there to inspire other people to want to go to places. Dear Mr. Matt, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for the peso and for the necklace. I also want to thank you for the thinking of us on your trip. My favorite picture that you showed us was the one where you were underwater. I like that picture because the water around you was really pretty. My favorite thing about the Philippines, spelled like Philadelphia, is that no dogs are on a leash unless they have an owner. Because if they have a leash, that means that they have an owner. I told him the story about there were dogs with leashes, but that's how you could tell that, and collars, and that's how you could tell that they actually had an owner and probably lived inside. I also like the fact that you told us dogs could go to church with you. I also like the picture you took of the monkeys. Thank you again for coming to our classroom and for the necklace and the pesos. I really appreciate it. Animals, all about the animals, all about the love. Appreciate the coins and the necklace, and it's wild. But it's to me, these are amazing to get these, to be able to share what the Philippines was like, and to tell them how amazing the Filipino people are. And you never know what that could lead in the future. And just trying to paint that picture for young people that this huge world is not as big as we think it is sometimes. And then you never know. Maybe they meet a Filipino person and they're like, oh, wow, I saw pictures of your land. Mr. Matt was there and he showed us how cool it was, and the fact your dogs get to run around and how beautiful the ocean was. And then maybe that's something that sparks a conversation, because we have Filipinos that live in Indianapolis, and it's you never know. Maybe that could help them in some way to form a relationship. So that's it. Share your stories with the young people, encourage them to travel, and then someday when they're old enough and ready, they can do it too. But I just wanted to share that so I could have it for myself later. And I appreciate all those children, and I'm going to keep sharing them away. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.